boys? Welcome to a night at the office. We are live from the Tulsa Sportatorium parking lot. We can't afford a real building yet, so don't worry about that. Over here in the white, we got the penny pincher, Mr. Krabs. In the black, you got the big honcho.
Yes,
y'all ready, boys? How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Solid. We got a good slate of some NFL football, NBA basketball news. NFL trade deadline was at 4. We got big news on that. All right, let's start off real quick. Thursday night football, Buccaneers, Bills. 24-18. It was close in the first half. Wasn't really a game. In the second half, Bills pretty much had control. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? It was a pretty simple game. What y'all got?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a. Baker actually played decent, which was kind of surprising. He threw any interceptions, which was a good little pace. Mike Evans could not find anything. That was the issue. Chris Godwin still only had 54 yards.
It was a pretty good game for Josh Allen, too. It's like the Bills are starting to get back into form. I mean, defensively, they still got some holes, obviously, with the injuries. But, I mean...
Defense played well, though, last week. That was probably their best performance they've put together so far this year, I'd say.
Facts. So what y'all got on the Bills ceiling? Are they back into it in the picture? Are they kind of hanging off with the Chiefs and the Dolphins in the lead? What y'all got?
I don't think they're making it this year. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
I think they're gonna get knocked out first round. And even so, the Jets haven't been playing around bad anyways.
Yep.
Even with Rodgers out.
Jets are starting to come together.
You know, I'm gonna agree with them only because, like, if you look at the top teams in the AFC, it'll be Chiefs, Ravens, and Dolphins. I guess you could put the Bills or the Bengals in that fourth spot. You could probably
find out this week.
You said what?
So we'll find out this week about the Bills and Bengals.
Yep. Prime time Sunday night, baby. That's gonna be a heavyweight bout.
And even so, Bengals might not even make the playoffs.
Yep.
They had a terrible start.
I know earlier in the week, Dalton said you had the Bucs winning the division. I got the Saints winning the division. What you got, Curtis?
Yeah, Saints have been playing bad. Saints have been playing bad at all.
And that offensive performance is starting to look like, they're starting to piece together the 38 points on the Colts. So we know the Colts, they're a decent team, not a bad team.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. First game on the slate, Philadelphia, Washington. I know we watched this game real closely. Me and Huncho did, at least.
It was a great game.
One takeaway real quick before we get into the actual game. Jalen Hurts is definitely not 100%. He's limping off the field almost every drive. You got to address that. That knee brace, I thought it wasn't going to be an issue. It may be an issue. And you can tell after the runs, the way he gets back to the line is a little bit slower than before.
Yep.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Jalen Hunter's he's a dog. I'm not really worried about that. And then also, Commanders, even though they lost, they said they were scrapping it. Went ahead, traded Montez Sweat to the Bears. Went ahead, traded Chase Young to the Niners. They're pretty much on a real rebuild phase. Yep. And you know what sucks? The Eagles are the only team that made the Commanders look good. Every time the Commanders face the Eagles, Sam Howell looks like Patrick Mahomes. So
he played great this week.
So, Huncho, what you got on the game?
I'm going to start with the offensive performance that Philly put together.
A.J. Brown broke the record, by the way. What is it? Six consecutive 125-yard games?
Yep. A.J. Brown, they just keep feeding him there on the outside. I think that this was the best overall offensive performance we had. Didn't run the ball exceptionally well, but we ran it when we needed to. And then Jalen Hurts was making the plays he needed to make. Goddard had a few big plays. And then, obviously, Devontae Smith.
He had 90 yards, didn't he? 90 yards in the
Devontae Smith was back this week, and you can definitely tell the offense runs better when Smith is playing well. And then obviously A.J. Brown, he's on fire right now. It looks like he might be best wide receiver in the league at the moment.
And we got Julio activated, big Julio in the end zone.
Yep.
And then the Commanders, obviously, they just scrapped their team. They're scrapping the season. They got new ownership. They're not happy. What y'all think the ceiling is for the Commanders? Obviously, this year is probably off the table. What y'all got in the future?
Issues off the table, but they're smart trading for picks.
Yep.
Getting a bunch of the first round picks. And even so, it's not like their offense is even terrible. It's really
they got Terry McLaurin, Curtis
Samuel.
Samuel. They got some weapons. Brian Robinson, Sam Howell. Looks like he could be the guy. Maybe I don't know what their direction is with that, but I mean, the offense is solid. They can still give some teams some push in the season later on.
Yep. Then we ain't gotta play them again.
Yeah,
hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't run into fucking Washington again. That might be. That's our kryptonite. It's been our kryptonite for 3 or 4 years now. I mean, even before Jalen Hurts, we had problems with them. So.
All right, moving on. We got Minnesota, Green Bay. Kirktober is finally over, and it ended on an injury. Shout out some prayers to Kirk Cousins. It's hard to root for the guy, but he is out for the season with an Achilles. Jay Jetta should be making his return maybe in the next 4 or 5 weeks if he even wants to return. I mean, their defense was playing solid too. I mean, Daniel Hunter, he's getting under the radar, but he's leading the league in sacks right now with 10. He's a good edge rusher. I mean, what y'all got on the Vikings, man? What's happening here?
On week 5, I said they were the best 1-4 team in the NFL.
Okay,
that's right.
Next week, Justin Jefferson out for 6 weeks. 2 weeks later, Kirk Cousins out for the rest of the season.
Yep.
They did pick up Dobbs though from Arizona.
Yeah, they did get Joshua Dobbs today.
Has been playing pretty well, but we'll see.
I personally don't like the move. I saw what Josh Dobbs did. He had some good game, but then he had some really, really suspect plays. And for a team that was rolling like the Vikings, I don't know if that was the right fit for it.
It reminds me of a Jameis Winston.
No.
That's what I wanted. I heard the idea of Jameis possibly going to the Vikings. I wanted that trade to happen, but obviously it didn't.
Yeah.
What you got, Huncho? Green Bay? Green Bay's looking pretty bad. Honestly, they're just a dumpster fire.
Like we got into Green Bay last week with the idea that they don't have enough outside talent, and Jordan Love is just not that guy yet. So it's just one of the things where they're gonna have to. There's gonna be a lot of growing pains there. They ran into a very hot Minnesota team. Obviously, Kirk Cousins out for the year is going to be a huge blow. Definitely, it's like what will go wrong can go wrong for Minnesota. There, it looks like now, but I think Green Bay. I mean, they definitely do have a high ceiling going. In a few. I think Jordan Love probably needs 1 or 2 development years because obviously he hasn't played much, but I think they should definitely invest in some outside weapons. Watson's been hurt most of the year, and then their running backs stay banged up as well. So I think Green Bay has a lot of development need to do, but I think in the future they could be a problem there.
And real quick on the Vikings, what do y'all got for next season? Jay Jettas and Kirk Cousins' contract is up. People are saying they might go as a pair, they might stay as a pair, they might go separate. What's the future for the Vikings?
Vikings are going to need to pay both of them.
I mean, that would be reasonable, right? I mean, Kirk is a gamer, he's a baller, and Jay Jettas is, when he's healthy, arguably the best receiver in the league. But at the same time, do they got the money for that? I don't even know what the cap situation is.
I honestly don't. I don't think that they will continue with Kirk Cousins. I think this experiment. I mean, obviously they've had some success. I don't think that long term that's what Minnesota is going to end up doing. Just because I think Kirk Cousins is definitely coming off the injury. Probably doesn't. That clock's ticking for him. So he's going to have to go somewhere that can win now. I don't think Minnesota is going to have enough. I think, like you were saying, maybe he goes with Jettas, maybe to a different. Hell, he could end up in. The Jets or something, someone that's already got a good team around it. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he's going to be back next year. We don't know what the injury is going to look like and if he even will be 100% ever again. So I think Kirk Cousins' time in Minnesota, I think that may have been his last game, and it sucks it went out like that. But he did have some success there. He gets too much hate. He doesn't get, he gets criticized for everything he does, and I feel like he's been a very good quarterback for them.
Facts, very, very true. All right, next on the slate, this is pretty much a rout. Cowboys Rams 43-20. CeeDee Lamb, 158, 2 tugs. Michael Parsons, strip sack. Cowboys looking good ahead of that big matchup next week. The Rams are starting to look kind of bad. They're starting to look kind of bad. We thought they were good in the beginning of the season. Obviously, they went down a downhill slope. Puka Nakua is still putting up some numbers. Stafford had an injury in the second half. What's y'all thoughts? Cowboys, are they for real? Is it a product of the schedule? What's the thoughts?
I think that at home, Dallas is for real. I mean, I believe Dallas might be top 2 teams in the league when playing at home. Thing is, they get on the road and they just, they start to lay eggs. I think that if Dallas was to capture home field advantage, they would give the NFC hell in the playoffs. I mean, Dak's going to get a lot of hate for throwing, interceptions when he doesn't need to, or making a play that he does need to make. But when they got that home crowd, that defense, if you let Dallas get a lead on you, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think there was a stat that like when they're ahead, they're great. The percentages are up, but then Dak's quarterback rating when he's behind, it's like 60. His percentage goes down, and obviously his interception goes up. So they're not built to come back from behind. On top of that, when they're coming back from behind, CeeDee Lamb seems to log out of the game sometimes. He's just not existing. So I mean, the Cowboys, they got weapons. Obviously, they got holes. We'll really see what they're made of this week when they face a team that's may not be a full complete team, but is the most complete team in the NFC. So it'll be a good matchup.
Yeah.
And then what about the Rams? I mean, Aaron Donald. I mean, it's posting this last year. Stafford. It's like they're not a bad team. They're just playing bad. Like
they got their Super Bowl and that was it.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Boston Celtics big 3. It's like they got that ring and then they just kind of started to dwindle downhill. Injuries start to pick up, and it's just a very it looks like they've reached their ceiling already years ago, and I don't think they'll recapture that. Aaron Donald, I mean, he's still great, but he got the bag, and I mean, the motivation definitely probably isn't there for Stafford, Donald. So I think this experiment with the veterans and bringing everybody in to win the Super Bowl, I mean, it worked out for him, but I don't think that going forward long term, this team is going to be a threat there in the NFC.
Very true. Very true. On top of that, the Rams did that Super Bowl year. They put a lot of money into that team, right? So you were starting to see the backlash of it. They can't get free agents. They can't sign the big players. So, yeah, I mean, I just feel bad for the Rams, and I think they gave a lot of picks up, too. I don't remember how many, but they're kind of in a bad spot for a couple of years.
Yeah, and all those people that they traded for, I mean, you got, what's the right? Akers is gone. You got Jalen Ramsey's gone. Odell's gone. So, I mean, a lot of those key pieces from that Super Bowl run, they're not even there now. So, like you're saying, they're seeing their connections.
We got New Orleans, Indiana, 38-27. New Orleans Saints offense starting to look like it's back. Derek Carr put up 300 yards. The Colts are still pretty solid. Gardner Minshew might be the best backup in the league. JT starting to get some yards up. Zach Moss is also a very underrated running back. I thought he was going to be getting traded today because, Colts aren't really in contention. But they got a nice little double running back game over there in Indiana. Wasn't enough for the Saints. What's y'all thoughts in the game?
Derek Carr. I mean, it was a great pickup, great trade. If the Raiders would have had him this year.
You said great. I don't know.
Hey, it's Tuesday. It's Hot Take Tuesday now.
Look, better than Jimmy G. That's all I'm saying. Better than Jimmy G.
Yep.
I'm going to say it. Jimmy G's the reason the Raiders aren't making playoffs.
That's right.
But anyways, back to it. Yeah, no. They've been having a great year. Saints have. Really, I thought after Drew Brees, we wouldn't see Saints make the playoffs in possibly a decade.
It really looks like Dennis Allen just doesn't coach. Like, if you watch Saints game, bro, Dennis Allen just be on that sideline like,
yep.
Like the only thing he replays is the results back to the box. Like I don't see any plays coming out of his mouth. But yeah, I mean the Saints controlled the game, didn't turn the ball over too much. It's really all you can ask for. I still think there might be some controversy with Olave, maybe not getting the touches he wants. I mean, yeah, and then of course, what was it last week? Olave had that skirmish where he didn't complete the play all the way. So I don't know if Derek Carr fully has his receiving core in line. Whether they believe in him or not, that'll be determinant on whether they win the division, like I predicted. But all good to the Saints. Next up, this one kind of a dumpster fire game, best of the worst. Carolina versus Houston. Carolina got their first win. Bryce Young is, as of right now, better than C.J. Stroud as he outplayed him in that game. I mean, I ain't got much to say besides that the Panthers really should just consider tanking. Just let Bryce Young get them reps. And for the Texans actually do have a solid team, but they're in the same boat as the Panthers. They're just getting wins that they probably shouldn't have, just because they probably may need to get some picks later on in the year just to strengthen their team for next year. Man, I mean, if they want to keep winning, it's all for them. But I would suggest the Texans just keep tanking because they're not good enough to make a playoff for another year or two. What y'all got?
I mean, luckily for the Texans, the Titans and the Colts aren't playing well either this year, though.
That is true.
Everyone's playing great in their division, though.
Yeah.
But
I don't like to bet against the Titans. I know the Titans are kind of in that rebuild mode too, but Vrabel coaches his teams hard. He's going to play hard every Sunday.
Yeah.
I think Tannehill's out though, right, for the Titans?
Yeah, they got Levis. He played great.
Will Levis, yeah, that's right. He dropped the 4 touchdowns on the first game.
That's
right. And they were counting him out all week. I remember that.
Yeah. I'll say that Houston, obviously, they don't have enough talent, yet, and obviously C.J. Stroud's still learning. But I love the Tank Dell, that wide receiver that rookie they got there. He's great. I like him. I think him and C.J. Stroud will be a dynamic duo for a long time there in Houston.
Yeah.
It's sort of reminiscent of the Deshaun and D-Hop days.
Yep.
All right, next up, it was a pretty good game here. Jaguars Steelers. Jaguars look good. I think this is 5 in a row for the Jags.
Jaguars looking great this year.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence proving them wrong. I think he said, I think it was last week, because all the analytics say they should be losing these games and they're not as good as they think. Trevor Lawrence said, "Fuck the analytics. I'm going to have to go out here and ball." And
no one expected this at all. What are they, 6-2 right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one would have guessed this at all. They're going to win their division 100%, guaranteed. And from there, they might even make it a few rounds.
Oh. I don't know about a few rounds.
Defense is playing solid as well. Trevor Lawrence, yeah, like you said, is playing phenomenally.
I mean, you say win a first round or two, but I don't see them beating the Ravens.
Really? Ravens defense has been incredible this year.
I don't see them beating the Bengals.
Really?
Because Joe Burrow got that Super Bowl caliber in him. When it's playoff time, it's time to go.
Yep.
Depends on which Bengals we get to see.
I mean, we just seen the Bengals beat the 49ers, put them back in the three losses in a row.
Yep. I think if we're talking that division, I said it last week and I'll continue to say it that Cincinnati is the best team in the AFC right now, and they will be going forward. I think right now they are the best team in the AFC, and you can call me crazy. I know we got Lamar Jackson homer over here, so I think that Cincinnati right now, maybe they might look like the best team in the NFL after the last 3 weeks.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I believe LJ's on a bye this week, right? So I guess no, he had the Arizona.
I think Baltimore plays. I know that they played. Never mind. But
I mean, I'll give you that for this week. They beat the 49ers. Yeah, pretty good win.
They also beat Seattle. Seattle's no scrub either. I mean, they beat the beat the whole NFC West.
That's true. That's very true. And then Baltimore has Seattle this week, so I guess we'll really see then. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you the Bengals. All right. Next up, New England, Miami. We didn't know what type of Patriots team we would get in this game. Miami obviously showed up. Really no doubt on this one. Tua is hot. Tua is hot. If he's not getting pressured, he's going to throw you out the game. I mean,
yeah.
Go ahead.
He's perfectly accurate as well for Tyreek Hill. He adjusted to his speed quick, and that has been the deadliest duo in the NFL. And I'd say much better than the Mahomes.
The crazy part is Jalen Waddle had 10 more yards in him this game. They both went over 100. So it was a pretty ridiculous day for the duo.
Their offensive threat is crazy.
I will say that
is crazy.
They're averaging, I think, like 19 miles per hour on each run, which is insane to me.
I think that Miami, they always look good on paper, or they've looked good on paper for 2 years now. But we've seen time and time out that they have not yet be a good team. They do play Kansas City this week, and I think this is where do we get the Miami? Do they get the win they need? To like put some confidence and scare the rest of the league, because Kansas City's kind of reeling right now. Patrick Mahomes has not looked his self. He just doesn't have it.
Is it in KC or is it in Miami?
It's in London.
Oh,
yeah, it's the London game.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Is it going to be cold over there?
Ooh, I'm not sure. It's always rainy. It's all I know.
Either way, I mean, that's a heavyweight bout. Miami needs that game. That is a must-win for Miami.
Yep.
I mean, they lost against the Eagles. Too. So, I mean, if Miami can pull this off, then they're really back in that picture. If not, they're on fraud watch.
Yep.
And honestly, I won't go that far because Kansas City is one of the best teams in the AFC. So I won't say fraud watch, but we'll say like wild card picture. Let's see. Next up. Yeah, we're just going to speed through this game. I mean, Giants Jets 13-10. Let me just read you off this one stat. I believe the Giants had -9 passing yards. Is that correct?
The Giants?
Yeah. -9 passing yards. And like Taylor, whoever their backup quarterback is, I don't know who it was, some third string that shouldn't have been in there, got like -2 passing yards. The biggest impressive thing for the Giants all day is that Saquon somehow managed to get 128 yards in a game that had a total of 23 points and 24 punts. 24 punts over 1,000 yards and kicking. It was really a dumpster fire, which I got.
Yeah.
How much longer is on his contract?
On who?
Saquon's.
Did he get extended?
He just got extended.
Really?
Yep. Just got extended there. I think
he'll be extended before the season. Let me double check the amount.
Play New York for life there. Damn, Giants are horrible though. Giants, they do not look good in any facet of the game. You could say the defense played well, but they're playing the Jets and Zach Wilson. So I don't want to say that was a great defensive game by them. I think just you run into the buzzsaw that is the Jets offense. That's very average, if that.
Very, very average.
Obviously, though, if you're playing Philly, we make those average quarterbacks look great. And Zach Wilson did look, pretty damn good against the Eagles. So I think, Zach Wilson really hasn't played a great game yet. And I don't think he is talented enough to, get the Jets far in the playoffs if they do make it. So you would assume that Aaron Rodgers might be back towards the end of the year. But if, the defense is keeping them afloat, and if they're just almost in the playoffs, 6-7 seed, Aaron Rodgers comes back, I mean, sky's the limit for them once he gets there.
Just to answer the question, Saquon signed 1 year, $10 million because they couldn't agree to a deal. So next year he's a free agent.
Oh.
And then on Zach Wilson, it was if you saw the overtime, which I unfortunately did, he had the most Zach Wilson play ever. One drive, 3 downs, and then he got sacked for 10 yards on 4th down. Giants can't score. They get the ball back. 24 seconds left. Zach Wilson goes dime, 2 plays, 24 seconds, get the game-winning field goal. That's been Zach Wilson's season all year. He gets to play just enough for them to win. They are on a 3-game win streak, but you look at the 3-game win streak and say, how the hell did they even get there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Jets, I mean, man, if Aaron Rodgers was on this team, they'd be scary.
Oh, yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers looked good. You see them on the field doing that throw. I don't know what they put in that brace. They obviously added some ayahuasca to that, but that boy over there flying.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, all right, we got Atlanta, Tennessee. This was really a battle of who's going to tank, right?
So Atlanta's playing pretty well this year.
Yeah. Taylor Heineke finally got in the game, which is weird because they said that I think Desmond Ridder got like a concussion or was in protocol. That's why they put Heineke in the game, but he played his ass off. 12 for 21, 175. Almost got him the dub. But they're just having a quarterback situation because they're saying they're going back to Ridder next week. Ridder has not been a fan favorite. I mean, but the Falcons would look good with Bijan and Piz. They got weapons. They just need the quarterback. So, I mean, what's the answer there?
Well, right now, they're NFC South's not looking too hot. They're leading their division right now, at least tied with the Saints.
Yep.
Yeah.
The schedule isn't.
And I think we just went over that, like, the Falcons have, like, that entire division just has, like, an easy-ass schedule.
Yeah,
so it's really up to them if they want to make the playoffs.
They play the Cardinals next week, the Saints after, Jets after, Bucks after, Panthers after, Colts after, Bears after.
Yep.
I mean, they have the easiest schedule, I'd argue, the rest of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's up to literally
Wide
their
open
offense
division.
not turning the ball over.
I mean, you look at
I'm
that
almost convinced they could get – go ahead.
I was going to say, you look at that division, I mean, I hate to say it because I don't want to say that this is true, but Derek Carr is the best quarterback in that division. And it's his division to lose at this point because, I mean, I don't think – Baker's Baker, though. I mean, he's going to air that shit out, and he's going to throw 3 or 4 picks, and then he's going to throw for 400 yards next game. So, very fearless quarterback there. So, I think that you look at the division, the Saints this is going to be their division. You've said that. Last week, I was riding the Bucks last week, and I'm still going to ride with the Bucks. But as far as Atlanta goes, I don't think that either one of their quarterbacks will get them to the playoffs.
I'll be honest. I think if Heineke's in there, Falcons are beating the Saints.
That's what I was kind of thinking that. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of thinking. I'm like, if Heineke plays like that, but, I mean, they're saying they're sticking with Ridder. That's the issue. So, unless they get rid of Ridder, put him in second string, I just don't see it.
I mean, they're holding most of the opponent. I mean, they're averaging only allowing about 16 points this season. Defense is playing phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Atlanta had just a half-decent quarterback, man, like if they had a top 10 quarterback, that offense is top 5 talent. I mean, it's
like what we were saying earlier, Justin Fields on that offense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotta watch out. So next year, I mean, we'll mark them for whether they're a good team next year. This year is more of let's see how far we can go. Let's analyze at the end of the season and then get better next season.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if they just make the playoffs, that's a win. That's a win. I mean, they're coming off of the Matty Ice, under that was like after that Super Bowl run, he just had some shitty ass years. Boy, I feel bad for Atlanta. All right, next up, we got the wake up game. The Seahawks proved they are top tier. They beat the Browns. Jim Schwartz defense proved to stifle a lot of people. I mean, obviously Cleveland Brown didn't have that offense, but they still almost beat the Seahawks 20-24. Gino, he puts the ball in some harm's way every now and then, but he's pretty damn good. I mean, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. You're gonna have to live with it if you're gonna get a dub. I mean, they are 5-2. Kenneth Walker's playing out of his mind. Lockett, Metcalf, Noah Fant. I mean, the defense. They got the Legion of Spoon, Devin Winterspoon, Tariq Woolen. They got a solid squad. They are a playoff team. Probably a 1-win playoff team right now, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And they just added who did they add? Leonard Williams off the Giants to strengthen that front seven to get ready for the 49ers. That was a beautiful move. Beautiful move. I love it. Seahawks are a problem. What y'all got on them?
Yeah, I mean, if these players were in their prime, this team might make the Super Bowl. The thing is, it's just an older team. I mean, DK Metcalf's been in the league, 7-8 years now? Locke has been in the league, 7-8 years now?
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting...
Lockett's going on like 12, I would think, by now. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they're just they got to be one of the oldest teams in the NFL.
They got some young pieces, too. They got
Geno Smith is fresher. He's younger, isn't he?
Yep.
Who? Which one?
Geno Smith.
Geno's like 30. He was on the Jets like 10 plus years.
33.
Yeah.
He looks good.
They got Kenneth Walker. They got Smith, probably the third option receiver, who's playing pretty good.
Smith's turning into the number one, it looks like, out there.
Really?
I'm liking it. I think DK Metcalf has not progressed since year 2. Like his fellow companion, partner in crime, A.J. Brown has in Philly. DK Metcalf has not reached the heights that A.J. Brown has. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Cleveland's defense still showed up. I mean, I thought Seahawks were actually going to put more points on them, if I'm being honest. And the fact that they kept them in the game, I forgot who the quarterback was for the Browns.
I mean, Deshaun played for a little bit, didn't he?
Which one?
Deshaun played for a little bit, didn't he?
No, it was Dorian Thompson.
Yeah.
But P.J. Walker was the main in there. They just got some issues. I mean,
defense.
It's like they got the team. If Deshaun was even 60% of what he was a couple years ago when they gave him the money, I mean, Amari Cooper, Njoku, Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, just keep going down the list. I don't see how you can't win with this.
Yeah.
In the NFC North, we just labeled it as the most dangerous division. I mean, AFC North, my fault. We just labeled it the most dangerous division in football.
Yeah.
And they're all the Cleveland Browns are missing out the quarterback, and they would really put a run in there.
Yeah.
And even with Deshaun back, he hasn't been playing well anyways.
Yeah.
It's crazy the contract that he got with. I saw a stat that said he's made $536K per completed pass just with his guaranteed salary.
Absolutely not.
Yep. Got to give the back on this though. I want to go back and give Seattle their props.
Yep.
We talked about this last week, Jerry, where this was a must-win game for Seattle because you look at their schedule. We talked about this last week. We got Baltimore, San Francisco twice. They got Philly, Dallas, and Pittsburgh on the schedule. And they got Tennessee. Tennessee looked good last week. So they had to win that game. Geno Smith led that game-winning drive. And Seattle has won some nail-biters. They were very battle-tested. I mean, they beat Detroit in overtime. They beat, like I said, Cleveland on the game-winning drive. They played Cincinnati. They were a 4th and 4 away from beating Cincinnati on the road. So I think Seattle is definitely battle-tested. Pete Carroll, the experience, he's won championships on both sides of the world here. So Seattle looked they won that game, and that was a very big game for them to win. But the schedule's only going to get tougher, so they're going to have to shore up the turnovers. Geno Smith's going to have to make some better reads because it's about to get extremely tough for them.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that they're in that division.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat out the Rams. I mean, not the Rams. I'm sorry, the 49ers for a playoff spot. I think they'd have to get in through wild card.
No.
It's just, you say that, but it's really hard to come back from 3 losses in a row. Like, that just depletes the confidence, right? So, I mean, the 49ers got to figure that out.
Fair.
And I mean, if they don't win next week,
they're on bye this week, but their schedule is ugly. Oh, damn.
What's the schedule? Anyone got it?
They got at Jacksonville when they get back from the bye.
Mm-hmm.
They got Tampa, at Seattle, at Philly, and then home against Seattle, and then they got Arizona, and then Baltimore.
Wait, they haven't faced Seattle at all yet?
Yep. Nope. They got 2 Seattle games, and they're back into their schedule, and they got the game at Philly and then at Jacksonville. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I say that they can go. I'm not gonna lie. I'm taking Seattle. I'm not gonna lie.
I say Seattle. They already got a game up on them. I mean, Seattle's got a tough schedule too. I mean, their schedule might be harder or just.
But they had a tough schedule last year, and look where they ended up, right in the playoffs.
Yep.
And unlike the 49ers, Seattle's winning the games that they should win. You know what I mean? They weren't expected to go in and beat Cincinnati. I mean, they almost did, but I mean, they're winning. They're beating the Browns. They're beating. You know what I mean? They're winning the games that they should win. 49ers, on the other hand, they're going in. They're not winning the games that they should win.
Yeah.
They're reaching their tough end of their schedule, and it's like Seattle looks like they're in the driver's seat.
Yep. Speaking of driver's seat, Russell Wilson is back in his as they lead Broncos to a 24-9 win. Patrick Mahomes looked absolutely awful. We thought we were going to get the Snow White game. Obviously, the snow cleared up during the game, but either way, the defense on the Broncos showed up. The offense on the Broncos showed up. And I've been shitting on Russ all year, but in quarterback stats, he's top 10 in a lot of them.
Yeah.
Efficiency, quarterback rating, I believe it was not touchdowns, but the yards per something like that. But he's playing some good ball. Stat-wise, you just don't see it on the field. You don't see it in the plays.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's going on with the Broncos? Are they a comeback team to watch? Are they just kind of like in the middle? Are they middle of the pack? What you got on them?
They're starting to get the rhythm back, which is nice. The division's hard.
Yep.
Chiefs are pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to knock out the Chiefs. Even so, Chargers are 3-4, but I feel like Justin Herbert could be much better than that.
Yep.
But a division win is big, though. A division win is big.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
It is huge.
And the Chargers look so iffy that I can't put a lot of stock in them. I just can't.
Yep.
Like 1 week Justin Herbert's a god, and the next he's Pee Wee Herman. So I mean, I don't know how to really describe the Chargers. And the Chiefs still are the best team in the AFC. I mean, they did lose, but I don't think anyone left this league. I know you got the Bengals, but I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. I mean, it's like this. The reason I'm picking the Chiefs is the same reason they keep ending up in the AFC every year. It's because they find ways to win.
Yeah.
This loss is only going to make them stronger.
Yeah.
Right. They lost against a division opponent who knows them very well, by the way. Division opponents are always hard to face. And Kansas City has beaten out the AFC West every year. So him taking this loss isn't really going to affect them too much in terms of style of play because they're just finding ways to win. I mean, I think he's only had 4 touchdowns since Tyreek Hill has left that have been over like 20 or 30 yards. I believe that was the stat. So they're just driving down the field. They're running in. They're finding screen. They're doing whatever it works. Yeah. So I'm not going to doubt the Kansas City Chiefs. And on top of that, they got the latest win over the Bengals. So I'll just throw that out there. Next up, Cincinnati, San Francisco. Of course, Joe Burrow, 3 TDs, 283. Joe Mixon had a nice day, 7-11, 100 yards, 10 receptions. Brock Purdy threw 2. I don't know. I say 1 bad interception, and I think the other one was a tip. I think. C-Mac still continuing his touchdown streak, but that doesn't matter. San Francisco got to find a way to just get back in the rhythm. Obviously, they got the bye week. That'll be good. Hopefully, they get Debo back. Hopefully, they get some of I think it was a Ward that was out on defense or something like that. And then the next game off the bye is the Jags, so it should be a good game. The Bengals, though, what y'all got on them?
Joey B.
Yeah.
I think I gotta talk here. Joe Burrow this game. There was an 88% completion percentage, 134 quarterback rating, nearly perfect. Bengals are on fire. And like I've said it for weeks now that they're the best team in the AFC. They are going to be the team that comes out of the AFC, and they're going to show you on Sunday night why they are still ahead of Buffalo. I believe they win that game by 17 points. And I think that the 49ers, you definitely can see some weak points now, even in their defense. So I think that they have some questions that they're going to have to figure out and answer themselves there. But sticking with AFC, though, I think the Bengals look like the best team right now.
Krabs, what you got?
I mean, really, the 49ers beat themselves. I'll be honest. I mean, Don't get me wrong. Joe Burrow played great, but San Francisco.
That's what I see. That's more on the lines I was going with. But go ahead.
San Francisco had 60 more yards than Bengals. They had 50 more yards in penalties, though. I mean, they had a 50% completion on third down, but I mean, even so, Bengals had a 3-8 allowed. Yeah, I mean, it was really just Purdy and penalties just let them down. Purdy doesn't throw.
Purdy is not an elite quarterback. There was discussion over the past couple of weeks whether he is, whether he isn't. Obviously, he had that winning streak. Obviously, he had the playoff run. Couldn't play against the Eagles, so people were saying that maybe they could have beat the Eagles if he was healthy. Obviously, they wouldn't have. That was set in stone. Sorry to tell y'all. He's not elite, but he is above average. Brock Purdy's good. He knows how to process information. I just don't think, obviously, he has been under a lot of pressure. These last 3 games are going to be good for him in terms of trying to beat the pressure out because he's faced some good defenses. So, and they have an easy schedule later on in the year, so it's not going to hurt them too bad, right? These next, I think, 4 weeks are going to be tough for them, and then they're kind of not coasting, but they're going through the end of the season, feeling pretty confident. I say it's a bust if the 49ers don't remain the 1 seed. I did pick the Seahawks over them, but I only picked the Seahawks over them for the division record. Okay. I think 49ers still may end up with the better record overall, maybe. Yeah. So we'll see about that.
No, I'm hoping this is a wake-up call for Purdy. Listen to these last 3 weeks. He's getting compared to Tom Brady by week 5, and I guarantee you it got to his head. He's a young guy. And losing 3 weeks in a row to basically him, if we're going to be honest. If he plays well the last 3 weeks, they might win these games. I mean, it wasn't too far apart for any of the last 3 weeks.
And I'm not even gonna pin that first loss too much on them because you were out McCaffrey and Debo.
Yep.
It's just hard when you're playing a West Coast offense like that, which is heavy on the motions, and you don't got your motion guys. So when you're switching up the offense that much mid-game, maybe I'll give them a pass, but it's still the NFL. You got to play ball.
Yeah, I mean, with the offensive line that 49ers have, there's no reason that you should be scoring 17 points 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I think 17 points has been the average all season.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken, they've been holding defensive offenses to 13 and scoring 17 on average. Huh. So really, this is just Brock Purdy DNA.
Yeah.
He's just not a high-scoring quarterback, but he is going to win you the game.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at, who has San Francisco actually, beat this year that's any good? I mean, they had the win over the Cowboys, but that's a road. That's Cowboys on the road, and Cowboys have. You see how the Cowboys play on the road. So, maybe this is just the 49ers running into good teams. The Browns are probably the second best team they played, or the third best team they played outside of the Bengals. Vikings are better than all the teams they beat this year outside of maybe the Cowboys. So, I think San Francisco, maybe it's just they're running into good teams, and maybe they're not as good as what they think they were, or what we thought they were going to be. But I'm not going to take anything away from Cincy because, that's who I'm riding with here. So I think Cincy was a big part of the reason they struggled so much on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, I think this next week for the 49ers against the Jaguars will be or I guess they have the bye into this week, but next week against the Jaguars will be a huge determination the rest of the season. Biggest challenge so far. wake-up call for their offense.
Yeah. Hopefully Debo gets back, so
Yep.
because if Debo is back and Brock Purdy still plays bad, then we got our answer.
Mhm.
All right, next up, my boy L. Jack, 31-24, beating the Cardinals. Cardinals are a scrappy team. They keep putting teams that are good in the hole, almost beating them. Joshua Dobbs, of course, playing well. Well, playing good. I wouldn't say playing well. He's still at 2 interceptions, but L. Jack, man, he's out here. 18 for 27, 157. He's had some rushing yards. I think maybe like 20. They're just winning games. They're winning tough games. I think it was more of a running game this year. Gus Edwards had a day.
Edwards has been playing phenomenal these last couple of weeks. He was pretty ineffective the first 6, but these last couple of weeks he's been putting up over 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, Lamar's passing it off more. He's not. Yeah, his rushing yards are down low compared to the last 2 weeks, which is honestly probably better for him. He needs to stay healthy 100%. He's quick, he's agile, don't get me wrong, but one bad hit on him, it's over for the season.
Yep. Mark Andrews, the reliable Mark Andrews.
Yep.
I feel like Mark Andrews is the wide receiver at this point.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Jason Witten. Like, he's just that solid cushion that never fails. So, Hall of Famer for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Ravens are still my pick. At the beginning of the year, I picked Eagles, Ravens in the Super Bowl, and I'm sticking with it. Obviously, they scared me the first couple of weeks, but now they're looking like they're back in form. Let L. Jack stay healthy, man. It's going to be a damn issue.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Ravens face the Chiefs this year? I need to see that.
Not yet.
They do not. They got they do have the Bengals again this year, and they got the 49ers later in the year. And they got the Dolphins.
That's still pretty good. So we'll just have to hope for a Ravens-Chiefs playoff game, but I need to see it.
Yep.
And then the Cardinals, Kyler Murray may be coming back soon. He might be coming back this Sunday. They just activated him off the IR. They got the Browns. I don't know if you want to play him against the Browns. Might send his ass back to the hospital. But y'all got on the Cardinals.
Just tank your season. You're already 1-7.
Yep. They don't have a lot of talent on that team, so I think the tank will be the best. I don't know if they need to pick a quarterback. I think Kyler Murray still is a viable option there. Or maybe he gets traded to Atlanta or something like that.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of reports going that after this year they're going to be done with Kyler, even if he does play this season. It's more of getting his stock back up. That's the reason they want to play him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're going to wash their hands with Kyler after the season.
Yeah, he played great his rookie year, and kind of like Baker, both played great their rookie years.
Yeah, he had a lot of potential. He just had that attitude problem and couldn't get in the film room and all that BS.
Kind of like making
the video contract clause, whatever they had that issue with.
Yep.
So hopefully Kyler, got the injury, getting a little humbled, realizing that the career ain't forever. So hopefully he come back better. We'll see what the Cardinals look like in the future. Next up, this was an iffy game. I really don't care about it. Chargers, Bears. We know the Bears are a terrible team right now in rebuild mode. They're going to probably have the top 2 picks. Chargers, Justin Herbert looked good, but again, it's the Bears. I'm not going to put a lot of stock on it. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, Chargers, it's an average offense, average defense. Not going to make it far with what they have right now.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Huncho?
Man, you're really about to make me talk about the Bears. I'll get into, I think the Chargers, another one of those teams that hasn't beat anyone very good this year, and definitely middle of the pack there in the AFC as of right now. I think the loss to the Jaguars in the playoffs last year, the come from behind win for Jacksonville, has definitely left a stain on this franchise, and I think that might be something that will be removable going forward. I think the Chargers are just keep ticking down. Their weapons on the outside are getting older. Keenan Allen's getting older, and then they had the injury to Williams earlier in the year. Eckler's been out. Kelly's played great though.
Keenan Allen takes plays off, but he still looks damn good out there.
He is. Yeah. He's damn good. I think it's year 11 for him, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's curse of the Chargers, really. Ever since Phillip Rivers, they're right above the average. They get you hype, and then boom, let you down.
Yep.
All right, Monday Night Football, Raiders, Lions. Lions looking good once again, finding back their form. Jimmy G obviously costing the game. He had 2 open TD passes to Devontae, could not connect. Devontae had 1 catch, threw his helmet on the sideline. I mean, the Raiders, though. I mean, Josh McDaniel needs to be fired and fired ASAP. I don't know how he still has a damn job. I know it's tough to change coaches mid-season, but he is not the answer and never will be.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Jimmy G's been getting contracts the last 5 years. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
And y'all kept questioning me a year ago or two when y'all said I would take Jimmy G, or somebody said they would take Jimmy G over a lot of quarterbacks. I said I wouldn't take Jimmy G over a Walmart bag.
yeah,
Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Jimmy G is a worse Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's been on just as many teams, but
I think the Jimmy G hype is just I think he came in and played like 2 or 3 games when Tom Brady was out or was sitting out, and Jimmy G looked pretty solid. But I mean, that's on a Patriots team that had great coaching and great defenses and great weapons on the outside with Brady. So I think Jimmy G never had to do anything, but now he's on a team where he has to make plays. I mean, he's been to Super Bowls with the 49ers, but
he didn't do anything then either.
he wasn't the reason they were in the Super Bowl. I mean,
not even close.
Yeah.
Boy, that knocks off the NFL slate. Real quick before we get into some NBA news, kicking off here at game 4 tonight. We got my boy Corey Seager.
Okay.
Rangers up 2-1 in the World Series, baby.
Sir.
Boy, I'm hyped. I'm super hyped. We got game 4 tonight in Arizona. Hopefully we take this. Shout out to Seager. Shout out to Simeon. Shout out to Lowe. They all got runs last week. I mean, not last week, 2 days ago. It's gonna be a good game. It's a good series so far. Are y'all keeping up with it, or what y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm keeping up with it. Oh yeah, definitely back and forth series. I think it probably will go to 7. I think you got 2 of probably the hungriest franchises for a World Series. So this one's probably going to go to 7. I mean, I think Game 7 would be in Arlington, correct?
Yeah, it's 2-3-2. So we got 2 more in Arizona, and then the rest in Arlington.
I mean, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself or anything, but I think that a Game 7 or even a Game 6 closeout game in Arlington, I think.
I had to go in 7 too. I had to go in 7. Yeah. Diamondbacks are scrappy. They win games they're not supposed to. Nobody wanted them in the World Series. They're in it anyway, so you got to put respect on their name. Mm-hmm. Ketel Marte, he's out there killing it. I don't know if I pronounced that right. My fault if I didn't, but he's out there killing it. Garcia for the Rangers, MVP. You need a raise. Mm-hmm. That boy has been saving our damn season. It's going to be a good game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get to the NBA real quick. I'm going to let you start off on your Lakers. Lakers have some good wins. Overtime loss to the Kings. Anthony Davis, LeBron been playing well. They just haven't been capitalizing as much.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a short sample size. We're only like 3-4 games into the season. But what you got on the Lakers?
Yeah, I think we talked last week, and they played that game against Denver. Anthony Davis just didn't show up there for most of that game, and then we got the game against Phoenix. Anthony Davis played great. LeBron played great. I think that
the Suns were without Beal and Booker, and it's just like KD damn near. I was watching the game. I'm like, bro, KD, I get he probably got tired in the 4th or whatever happened. Mm-hmm. He didn't do that great, but the Lakers got to figure that out. I know D'Lo's starting to get hot. He got hot last night. Gabe Vincent was probably a terrible move.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all got on that.
I think, it's obviously we just got a short sample size. I think the issue with this Lakers team will be just the stretch of the season. I mean, with the age there at their starting lineup, I think. But I will say that with moves made by other teams or another LA team earlier today, I think age is going to just be an issue with some of these teams out west. I think Phoenix, KD, obviously getting up there in age, and they have a few young guys, and then Golden State's aging. So I believe the young kids, Lucas looking great already, looked like MVP already of the year. So I think age is going to be a factor on a lot of these teams out west. And I think some of the young guns are going to start taking over very, very soon, even this year.
All right, we got new. Sorry, go ahead. Well, we got news of the day. James Harden, obviously, to the Clippers. Let me get the actual trade pulled up.
That's how Morris Senior's going.
More senior. Damn. I don't know. I'm gonna just start off before I pull it up. Fucking hate this move. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Really?
I don't care what people think. This is the reason why I hate it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, no. Oh, yeah. I forgot to pull it up right here. Harden in the playoffs with the 76ers. This is the last 10 games. He had 3 good games. I'm not excluding that in the stats. 32% from the field, 22 from the 3, 14.5 points per game. When you're playing on the 76ers with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris consistently goes missing, you got to put up more than 14 points per game.
Yep.
There were consistently games in the playoff. We go, Harden, you going to show up? He showed up game 1 and game 4 against, what was that, the Celtics or the Bucks? One of those two. Either way, it didn't matter. Did not matter at all. We know Joel Embiid goes missing too. That's not a surprise. But the fact that you gave up, first off, the Clippers were already a top team before you made this trade. Russell was playing great. He's comfortable. He's playing efficient basketball since the end of last season, right? Kawhi's back. He's playing good ball. Paul George is on his bully shit. Terrence Mann, Bones Highland. And then you go ahead and mess this up. I mean, they got to keep Terrence Mann. I'm glad about that. But then you trade away wing defenders in length for James Harden, an aging superstar. One who's the diva, by the way. Let that shit not work in the Clippers. He's going to move that shit too.
Yeah.
I just don't like the move. What y'all thoughts on it?
I think it benefits both teams, honestly.
The 76ers won. I'll say that. Yeah, the 76ers made a great trade. That was a great move for them, but I just don't like it for the Clippers.
I think that a huge part of this trade is that Terrence Mann, he was not dealt in this trade, and I thought that was something that would have to be dealt to swing this deal. So I think that LA did a good job of not letting him go.
Yep.
I think that's something that I thought, like I just said, that I thought that would have to be a key piece to get this trade to work. So I think LA wins the trade because they didn't have to let him go. Philly wins the trade just because they got rid of James Harden, and that era is over. And I think that they're finally starting to get rid of the cancers of this team, I guess, or the team from the past few years. Obviously, with Simmons gone from a few years ago, and then now they got rid of Harden. I believe they've finally blown up all of the bullshit that they've had at that organization. I think this is finally Embiid's team. There's no sideshow. It's going to be just straight basketball now there in Philly.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is really, I know a lot of people say Jokic should have won the MVP. This is Embiid's time to show that he's the real MVP. It's him again, him, Tobias, and some, the rest of the gang. Tyrese Maxey's going to blow up this year.
Maxey.
To shine. Philly's probably number three in the East right now. Obviously the Bucks look good. Dame first game had damn near 40.
Yep.
The Celtics look really good. They haven't lost yet. I'm pretty sure Kristaps is averaging like 20 in his first 3 games. So the East is tough. Miami's a little off right now, but small sample size. We'll see what happens later in the season. I just really hope that Harden doesn't mess up the chemistry that Russell has. Russell's already sacrificed a lot. If you're going to ask him to sacrifice even more, it's just going to cause issues. So we'll see how that works out. We know Harden and Russell buddies, but we'll see how that whole thing works out.
I'll be honest. I think Harden's done scoring 30 points a game.
Yeah, I do too.
He led the league in assists last year. I think he's tired of shooting 20 shots a game.
But the thing is, when he was about to go back to Houston, that whole deal, the reason that he didn't go back is because he went into the meeting it said, okay, I'm going to go back to the James Harden that was scoring 30 points a game, and that's why they didn't want him back. It's because he was saying that he wants to go back to that. So whether he wants to right now with the Clippers,
he's not gonna be able to with Kawhi, Paul George. I mean, they got.
He's the third option again, just like on the Nets. And he didn't like that situation. So I'm just like, I don't. There's too many factors in the past that say that this won't work out. I hope it really does because I got the Clippers. I want the Clippers to win. I want my boy Russ to get a ring, PG. But we're just gonna have to see in the future.
Of the aging California teams, I mean, who are you taking right now? I mean, after that trade, does this move Golden State or even the Lakers above the Clippers in your eyes, Jerry? Or do you think that this trade still has, or do you still think the Clippers are going to be ahead of the Lakers and Golden State there out west?
Crabs, you go, and then I'll go last.
I think Golden State's playing phenomenal this year. I mean, Steph Curry has not deteriorated whatsoever.
Two back-to-back 40-point games.
Yep. I mean, leading in scoring, leading in three-point shots, of course. I mean, he's playing incredible this year. Lakers, it's really just injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as Lakers remain healthy, they could win it all. It just hasn't happened. And Anthony Davis is extremely unreliable. Anthony Davis healthy is arguably top 5 in the league.
No.
LeBron has to cut his minutes down. They had him at 28-30, locked in at the beginning of the season. That only had lasted for the first game, and now he's playing 35-36, and they're barely getting wins. I know the overtime loss, he did that, but they're barely scraping him out. AD got to play the more dominating role. I mean, what we need. So we'll see what happens later on in the season. I'm going to go – I'll still go to Clippers. And then I'll go Lakers. CP3 is now on the they say he's going to come off the bench with Draymond back. Yeah. I like it. CP3 will be kind of like a Manu Ginobili almost. So we'll see how that works out, how that comes to fruition. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Clippers.
Still the Clippers. All right.
I think Clippers got a favorable trade. I think they look better this year with James Harden. And, I mean, they didn't really lose. Nicholas Batum is pretty good. I mean, Marcus Morris is a big dude, but PJ Tucker is as well.
They got Tucker in that trade, too. That was big, too.
Yeah, they got Tucker as well.
Tucker won't really come into play until the playoffs. He likes to take some games off during the season, getting older,
So
in the playoffs, that'll be extremely helpful. Take the load off Kawhi. Kawhi, he can't play that strong defense as much with the injuries, but
I think the era of the super team, blockbuster trade, free agent signings, I think that era is starting to dwindle. You see that teams that are winning are the homegrown teams. You got, Denver and then like Milwaukee a few years ago. These are all just draft and just bring them up and just let them develop on their own without having – you don't have to have, 3 or 4 superstars. You can have, just young guys come in and just grow with the organization. And that's what, cohesiveness is what's winning in the league right now. I mean, that's what Miami, Spoelstra, that's one of the reasons that Miami tends to just continue to make it back to the finals is because, they're just cohesive and they have, chemistry and just experience across.
And then on top of that, the Mavs are also playing really well. Luka has been insane. Thunder have been playing well. The West is loaded. I know we kind of did this last week. Let's update it a little bit. Who you got at the top teams in the West, Curtis? And then top teams in the East, top 4.
I mean, of course, Nuggets. You can't ever count out Nuggets, especially when Joker's been playing. He's MVP last season. I mean, based on these 4 games, he's going to be MVP this season.
Yeah.
He's playing incredible this year. Mavs have been playing incredible as well. They made adjustments, which they needed to make.
They're still missing they're like one big man away, I feel like the Mavs. Like one big man or one really solid forward.
Yeah.
Even so, we got the Suns up in there as well. Like you said, Thunder's been playing great for being such a young team. I was actually at that game last night.
Very nice.
They look great against
I think Shea didn't have the hot game last night, did he?
Nope. But I mean, Chet Holmgren came in there and showed out.
Yep.
We had our players off the bench coming out and playing. I'm pretty sure we had 40 points off the bench. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
We have a diverse team. Oklahoma City is a diverse team this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like Jalen. I really love Jalen Williams too. He reminds me sort of Steven Adams, not as aggressive, but he's just that gadget player. You know, he gets the stuff done, the gritty work.
Yep.
Lou Dort. I don't know if you've seen the size on that man. I mean, that dude's huge.
He reminds me of y'all remember Cephalosha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clamps.
All right. That moves on from sports. I just got some random topics real quick. Joe Smith, the former NBA player, in a video found out his wife had an OnlyFans. In the video, his wife said, I've been asking you for solutions to these problems. You didn't give me one, so I created one. My question to you is, if that was said to you by your girl, what's your thoughts on it? I'm gonna start with Krabs. If they start an OnlyFans.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that's a no from me. The way I see it, he was caught off guard. You know, his friend had to text him or something, be like, "Hey, this your girl right here? Like, what's going on right here?" It's not like this OnlyFans stuff public or anything like that. Someone that he knew had to subscribe to her page and say, "Wait, what's going on here?"
And they're married too, married for years, by the way. And she had it. I think in the video it said maybe like a year or two.
Yeah,
and he didn't know.
That's a bad surprise to find out. No conversation, nothing about it.
But at the same time, it was also solo. Like it was just her, the camera, and herself. No other dudes. I'm like, y'all still not taking it?
It's different if there's a conversation. Let's work out some agreeable terms. That way we're both happy.
Maybe I get 99% of the profits generated, and maybe we'll think about it. Still probably a no.
Me personally, I thought about it. Obviously, I'm not in a relationship right now, but if I came across one, she was like, "Hey, I got a little." No, let me make it a surprise. Say I'm in one, she pops up with it. I gotta ask how much you making.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if you pull up with a check for like $10K a month, hey baby, whoever your photographer is, hey.
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay, Joe Smith was making $10 million a year.
Yeah.
So even if she was making $10K a month, what?
But remember what I said in the video? She said, "I've been asking you for solutions. You didn't give me one, so I created one myself."
Look,
so that $10 million a year obviously wasn't helping for some reason.
I hope he signed a prenup. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I hope he signed the prenup.
All right, just another random stat. Magic Johnson has joined the Billionaires Club.
The what club?
The Billionaires Club. Magic Johnson, he got stake in the Commanders, everything, all his business ventures got him up in the Billionaire Club, joining Michael Jordan. What's your thought on that?
He owns the or part owner of Dodgers too, correct?
Yeah, Dodgers.
Dodgers, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's just people. They learn how to manifest their money. It's kind of like a Kardashian thing where it's just like you get money inherited, and it's just you learn how to just keep building off that. And I think that's just a very. It's nice to see people spend money where it's going to profit them and just be help them long term instead of just spending it all on things that are just like unnecessary in this world. Just
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the last thing I got, and this will finish off the show. Spirit of Halloween, which is going to list off top 3 and top 3 best and top 3 worst candy to receive on Halloween.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go top 3 best. We're gonna go Airheads, King Size Reese's.
Wait, hold on. Before you keep on, if they give you the regular size, it's not in the top 3.
It is, but here's the thing: you go up to the door, and when you see the bigger pack, do you not instantly get a bigger smile?
Yep.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You memorize the houses that give you the full size bars.
Yeah, facts. But like, okay, I'll just say regular. I'll say regular.
Okay.
Right. And then third, I'll go Sour Patch.
Okay.
And then for the worst, I'll go in this order. And actually, it doesn't matter. Black licorice, candy corn, and job stoppers.
Jawbreakers?
Jawbreaker, yeah. Gobstoppers, Jawbreakers, same shit. Yeah.
See, I'll agree with you with the candy corn and the Jawbreakers. I'm gonna be honest, not a single time I don't think have I seen black licorice been given out at Halloween.
Oh,
I'm
I
pretty
have.
sure that's just universally hated.
Well, if you grew up out north,
Yeah.
the old grandmas, they had the black licorice.
You got the black licorice?
Yep.
No.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't even know how to describe the taste. It's terrible, bro. It's like,
Oh yeah, no, I've tried black licorice. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I don't know one person that likes it.
I like Jägermeister though. That's close.
Mm.
Okay. What's your list? What's the list? What's the list?
See, Snickers. My top 3. Snickers. I like those little Krabby Patties, actually. You know
Okay.
I was thinking of that.
Okay.
That's a good one. And one year, I got a fruit roll-up.
Fruit roll up. Okay.
Let me tell you what. That was the difference in my bag that made my night.
Facts. What about you, Hunch?
Top 3 best. If we're gonna go with a candy bar kind of thing, I'm gonna go Payday.
Mm.
Okay.
One that's one of my personal favorites. Probably gonna catch heat for this one. Fun Dip. I love me some Fun Dip.
Fun Dip. Is that the one with the white stick and the powder?
Yep.
Okay, that's not bad.
Fuck
It's a
with it.
lot. I mean,
It's
it's
just-
like pure sugar.
My problem was the stick never had any flavor. That used to piss me off, bro.
Those little skinny sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like you eat them with the thing, but then like you start chewing and it's like you get that chalk flavor. I'm like, damn, bro.
I remember that sugar rush was crazy for a good 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And then number 3, definitely gonna catch hate for this one. Twizzlers. Twizzlers, number 1 favorite candy.
That's
Gets a
honorable
lot
mention.
of hate,
Interesting.
but I do love some Twizzlers.
Yeah, that's my honorable mention for sure.
And then-
I'm a Twizzler guy.
Worst top 3. I'm gonna say raisins, and it's not that I hate raisins. It's just not that I want raisins with my
Okay.
Halloween stuff.
Okay,
Okay.
but raisins in a Halloween candy, I ain't never seen that shit before.
See, that's down south, boy.
That's the downside. Oh yeah. I'd say raisins probably number 1, and then
I've got some raisins before.
I'm not really a huge fan of like Skittles or anything like that. And then fucking Warheads, man. Fuck them Warheads.
Yeah, that shit used to cut the fuck out my gums, bro.
Yeah.
All right, before we get out of here, we got a heavyweight matchup, one of the best slates we've seen all week. We give our little picks on some of these key games. Miami, Kansas City. I'm gonna go with. I think Kansas City is -2.5. I'm probably gonna take that. I'm gonna take that bet. Seattle, Baltimore by -5.5. I'm gonna go with Baltimore on that too. I wouldn't say 5.5 though. Let's see what else. Dallas, Philly, obviously Eagles all day, and it's in Lincoln Financial. It's gonna be a good game. And then Buffalo, Cincy. I'm gonna go Buff. Yeah, I'll go Cincy for sure. Yeah. All right, which I got. Miami, KC. Which I got.
I'm gonna say KC only because of the London location. Chiefs like the cold. Let me tell you what. They like the rain. Miami is not a cold city by any means.
But here's the thing I heard. So a lot of the Germany games, they've been having bad preparation. The Jags, they had a bad practice preparation. They got there like on Friday or some shit. The Chiefs are only gonna have one practice before that weekend. So I'm considering jet lag. I'm considering all those factors. We're gonna have the long travel. So maybe the Chiefs get a little off rhythm, only having that one practice and not getting there at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how the Dolphins adjust to that long range and the colder weather. And then Seattle, Baltimore, which I got.
I'm taking Baltimore. As long as they keep on passing the ball off to Edwards, as long as Lamar keeps on his 85% completion rate, I mean they're looking beautiful this year. Their defense is top 5.
Oh yeah. Huncho, who you got?
I'm going to go Seattle over Baltimore. I think that's probably going to be – no, that's going to be one of the upsets of the week because I'm also going to take Miami over Kansas City. I'm going to take Miami 42, Kansas City 31.
You got a shootout?
We got a shootout in London there.
Interesting.
I think Miami ends up – I'm going to say Miami's winning 28-7 at half. And then Kansas City comes back and makes it close, but Miami eventually pulls away and wins by 10.
I'm not gonna lie, if that plays out, I'm gonna give you $5 for that. Then Buffalo, Cincy, we already know what you got on that. Dallas, Philly, obviously Dallas, Philly is gonna be game of the week. Who you got on Dallas, Philly, Curtis? You're the only neutral one in here.
I mean, as long as Dallas comes to play, I'm going to take Dallas. I'm still going to say, as long as Dallas comes to play, they win the Super Bowl. The thing is, they don't come to play.
That's true.
You don't know what Dallas you're getting every single week.
You
don't know if you're getting the Dallas that has 8 sacks and 50 points that week. You don't know if you're getting the Dallas that's allowing 60 points, throwing 3 interceptions.
And the one thing about Dallas and the Eagles is that all the teams, well, not all of them, but like some of the teams that the Eagles have kind of struggled against, New England, the Rams, Dallas is handling business, right? So we gotta put that in perspective. We gotta put that on there. We just gotta come out strong. We gotta come out ready to play. It's tough. It's a tough game, but yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna go 24-21 sounds about right to me.
Even so, yeah. I mean, really, this year Cowboys have had a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
What's the remaining schedule? Is it better than? I thought it was similar to ours.
They got
week, Giants week after, Panthers week after, Commanders week after.
They got Buffalo and I got Detroit, right?
Yeah, toward the end, their last 5 weeks is Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. So they got a hard last 5 weeks. The next 5 is a breeze. The last 5 is tough.
I like that though. I like that. And the thing is, if they really come out strong, it'll be hard not to take them in the playoffs. Like if they come out of that last 5 games like 4-1, oh yeah, they're an issue.
I mean, them barely beating the Chargers they should have beat the Chargers by 14 points.
Oh yeah,
and losing the 49ers by 32 was insane. It's like they just weren't ready for that defense by any means.
Yeah, I still don't even know what quite happened in that 49ers game. Like that was
lost the Cardinals as well. They handed Cardinals their first win. You should have seen the smile on their face that week.
Yeah, they got some weird losses. It'll be interesting to see how they pull up. But it's Cowboys. They're not really weird if you're thinking about Cowboys.
They're rolling the dice every week.
I think Dallas and Philly has been a good matchup for years now because you have Dallas's strength on defense is obviously getting after the quarterback and their defensive front. Well, that's Philly's offensive strength is their offensive front. And where Dallas has had Philly's number for years now, and I feel like the Eagles have struggled against Dallas a lot, is the quick passing, slot passing. CeeDee Lamb eats us up alive in the slot. That's how you beat Philly as far as their defense, because if you don't give Jalen Carter and those boys, the time to get to the quarterback and you get rid of that ball quick, that Philly defense is not very good on the back end right now. So
don't question him though. Kevin Byard, is only his first week. Let him warm up. He's not going to be the replacement to CJ, but he's going to be pretty damn close.
That Christmas Day game last year was a shootout, and I think that's what we're probably going to have something similar to that this week. I think at least we will have Jalen Hurts. Obviously, Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott have not played each other in almost over 2 years now because they didn't play each other last year, and then 2021 they didn't play the second time because Dak was resting because of the playoffs. So they haven't played each other in a long time.
But Dak does have the one-up on Jalen.
He does have the one-up. Jalen Hurts did not have, A.J. Brown at the time. So I think there is going to be some. It's definitely going to be interesting, at least to say the least.
All right, boys. I ain't got nothing else on the slate. If y'all got anything to add, any other topics?
I don't think so.
All right, and that concludes the night at the office, live from the Tulsa Sportatorium parking lot. We'll catch y'all later, boys.
Hell yeah. Peace out, y'all.